Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. I want to tell you, thank you for joining us this afternoon. We are going to take the next hour and go over a webinar called How to Make the Jump from Employee to Entrepreneur. We're going to take you on a tour of just really some of the challenges, the objections people have about trying to make that jump. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So looks like we've got a good crowd coming in here. We got David, Fadia, James, Trudy, Vimal, Christina. Good to see everybody this afternoon. There's some more people that are trying to get in, and we'll give them just a few more minutes. Patrick and I were just getting everything kind of keyed up here right up at the top of the hour, so we appreciate everybody's on-time attendance. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Again, how to make the jump from employee to entrepreneur. That's what we're going to be talking about. And we've got a lot of stuff to cover. So we're going to just get right on in here. As people are coming in, we will certainly welcome them. First of all, we want to make sure that we're being heard. So if you don't mind, just go to the Q&A box and just type in hello. That helps us to make sure that we're being heard. And it certainly is a good thing. I see a hand raised there, so that's a good thing. Let me pull up my Q&A box. Got it. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback there. Got it. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that. Again, my name is Eric Auger. I'll be your co-host this afternoon, and Patrick will be joining me here just shortly. Let me tell you a little bit about American Business Systems. Some of you, this is the first time I've seen your name. So for those that have been here already, but once before, just bear with us as we kind of go through this. But American Business Systems has been around for over 28 years. And they are proud to be in this industry, especially helping folks like yourself wanting to make that leap from the employee to entrepreneur. So they've been doing that for quite some time now. So that is obviously something you always want to be a part of with somebody that's been at this for the length of time that ABS has been doing this. It's all centered around the iClaim EMRX package. It is a fully integrated billing EMR clearinghouse patient portal system. It's one of the only ones that are out there that is fully integrated with all four of those components. And we might be able to share a little bit about that with you this afternoon. Now, in other webinars, we've certainly gone into much more depth than that. So, but be sure to get back with the person that has invited you to the webinar today. And if you haven't had an opportunity, go see a demonstration of the software, and that'll certainly be a help for you. Plus, you got all these different services. And one of the things we always like to make a point here is that all of these services are included in the investment that you make. This is not piecemealed together. And neither whenever there are new services that come online, you're not charged any extra for any new services that do come online. Unlike some other franchises that may be out there, business opportunities that might say, hey, we've just come up with something new. Why don't you give us a few more $1,000 and you can have that. That's not the case here at American Business Systems. So once you're in, any other future services that come around are obviously included. And you can see ABS has got several technology partners that they've worked with, continue to work with. So we've got you covered just about on every line that we can think of out there to help you build your business and sustain your business. And we've had several awards with us and with our technology partners. So you're kind of teaming up with the right group of people. Again, ABS has been around for over 28 years. It was actually started by the young lady there on your left, the Mrs. Linda Phillips. She was the one that actually started doing medical billing prior to Patrick going, this is something that I think anybody can do, and developed a business plan so that he could teach others how to do this and go out there and market the business and work this from home. Patrick's also not only done that, but he's written several books. Some of that you've already seen before: How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, The New Thriving Medical Practice, and Cash Crunch to Cash Flow. He's also an editor, writer for the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. And he's also the co-founder of an organization called MERMA. That's the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And folks, without any further ado, I'm going to ask Patrick to join us this afternoon. Patrick, it's good to see you. Now, I know that you've got a little bit of limited internet bandwidth going on right now.
Yeah, but the great thing, Eric, is that now nowadays, if you've got a cell phone that has internet connection hotspot, they call it, you just turn that on and boom, I'm connected, actually running this webinar right now through my phone. So it's amazing technology.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so if you can do that via a webinar, obviously that kind of also shows that you can run this business, because the bandwidth that you need to run the iClaim and eMarks platform is certainly not even as big as what we're using today during a Zoom meeting.
Right, much more bandwidth today. And if something happens and it kind of cuts out a little bit, or I start sounding robotic, let me know, Eric. I'll just turn off my webcam. That has most of the bandwidth right now.
Yep, absolutely. Well, there's a couple of things we want to talk about. First of all, everybody kind of knows of Dave Ramsey, and he's written several books, been in magazines, and I'm sure people have listened to him. But very interesting article in this, the Total Money Makeover. He says the worst thing we can do is to get a second job. The best thing we can do is start a home-based business.
Yeah, and a lot of people nowadays are getting that second and third job.
Yeah.
We're talking today about jumping from an employee to an entrepreneur, and that's a big step for a lot of people if they've never owned their own business. So we'll try to guide people through the step by step what the concerns are that most.
And you are cutting out a little bit. I say, well, let's just both of us just go off of our videos.
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's a little bit better, because you were saying something there and you kind of cut out there.
All right. Well, here's a great quote here. This is from I think it's boy, I can't even see that slide. Is that Forbes magazine?
Health Leaders magazine.
Oh, okay. Well, as you can see, it's a great quote. It says, as it has over the past several decades, healthcare spending is expected to grow on average more rapidly than the rest of the economy. So, Eric, if you're getting into any business, if you're looking at starting a franchise or any kind of business, it's a good one to get into if you have one that's on the growth, upward growth rate. Hey, by the way, that little link that you can see at the bottom of that slide, folks, it's real tiny, of course. We just put that in there so that if you'll get the printout from your ABS rep, the person who sent you the invite to this webinar, they'll send you a PDF that has all those, and you can read them up close.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Patrick, I know that we want people to make sure that they're part of the webinar today. One of the things that we like to always talk about, especially here in the very beginning, is that as you go through the webinar today, feel free to ask us some questions. So in the Q&A box where you put in hello and you can hear us okay, please go over there and type out any questions as we kind of go through this. But one of the other articles that Patrick, you and I wanted to kind of talk about was from Inc. magazine, 4 ways to become a healthcare entrepreneur today.
Yeah, of course, Inc. has been one of the leaders in the business magazine industry, and of course they have a website as well. And this is a great quote here, folks. If you're looking, it says where entrepreneurs should be looking. All right, so if you're looking to start a business, they say healthcare is a huge industry, and anytime there is change, there's going to be opportunities for entrepreneurs to find success. Well, Eric, I don't know of anything that changes more dramatically every once in a while than the healthcare industry. And of course, we've made it through 28 years of those changes because it's a good, solid industry that's going to be around no matter what the changes are.
Right.
And then it even mentions not only in directly related services and products, but in the ancillary services like operations, communications, and support. You showed a picture earlier of that stack of boxes, Eric. Folks, those are ancillary services that we came up with that you can offer to doctors, that you make money on all of those services as well. So you've got the best of both worlds, the billing itself, and of course, all these ancillary services.
Absolutely. And there, one more article that before we actually get into some of the kind of the what I call the nuts and bolts of everything. But one of the biggest things that physicians have trouble with, again, is just trying to for them to, gosh, I can't, there we go. The physicians themselves are looking for greater ways to grow their business. And one of those areas is because of they're thinking about outsourcing their billing. And it's really because of some of the things that we're going to follow up with, is that they've been challenged by denial rates or high denial claim rates. Patrick, you there?
Eric, yeah, but you cut out a couple of times just now. So
Okay.
Maybe you're having the same internet problems that I'm having down here in my part of the Fort Worth area.
Yeah, we might both be having some challenges. But what I was just saying there is that doctors are under pressure themselves, and it's forcing them to look to outsourcing that billing, because it'll help reduce the rate of their denial claims.
Yeah, and of course, practices are under economic pressure because of the COVID here the last couple of years.
Right.
A lot of their practice. I'm sorry.
No, go. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. So anyway, it says that the greater the economic pressure on a practice, the more viable outsourcing becomes. Outsourcing billing processes should ultimately reduce the cost of collections and maximize revenue, allowing a practice to invest in clinical resources and get better quality results. So folks, that word outsourcing means the doctors don't want to do it inside their own office. They want to give it to somebody like yourself who's been trained to do it.
Yes, absolutely. And so let's talk about denial rates. And what are denial rates? Well, no better place to understand what denial rates is than coming from the Healthcare Business Management Association. And really, folks, what a denied claim is whenever a claim is actually submitted and then denied on the first go round. And the HBMA has said it's not unusual to see a doctor's office have a 35% or higher claim rejection rate, which requires extensive and expensive follow-up.
Wow, yeah. Wait till you see the cost of follow-up, folks. Think about this. 35% or higher claim rejection rate. That means that out of 100 claims that they send in, 35 of them are denied on the first pass. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't resubmit them. Some of them do. Some of them figure out what's wrong and will resubmit those claims. But our system has a less than 2% claim rejection rate on the first pass. That is a huge difference. And it means, of course, lots of more money in the doctor's bank account without them having to do anything.
Right, absolutely. And then and it sounds like you might be losing thousands of dollars per claim. That is true, because the average cost to rework a claim is $25. Well, folks, if you think about it, most claims that are reimbursed to a doctor's office already is about $100 to $125. Imagine taking 25 of that. That's, if it's $100 claim, well, gosh, that's 25% of that claim already. So you think about what the doctors are expecting, you can see how easily, and I'm going to get right back up here to this, that you can see that it's not unusual to have a 25% or higher claim rejection rate, but that's about the same what it's going to end up costing the doctor. It's about 25% less money than they actually expect.
Yeah, and a lot of doctors, of course, have a lot more than 100 claims a month. I talked to a licensee just the other day. We're going to hear from him here in a little clip shortly, but he had one that had 400 claims a month. Now, that means that the cost for that doctor, if they had even 35% of those claims being rejected, that's another 335% of that's whatever that is. It's thousands of dollars a month that doctor could be losing.
Right. Absolutely. And that's just incredible. And one more thing, and this is actually from the U.S. government. And the government says that the U.S. Government Accountability Office, the GAO, says it could be anywhere from 6% to 30%. Now, let me just kind of put that in perspective here with American Business Systems. Our rejection rate utilizing the iClaim and EMRX platform is less than 2%. So Patrick, just right off the bat, why would doctors use you? Why would a doctor move from doing claims billing from their office to an outsourced process, like this article up here says, that doctors are looking to outsource their claims, is because, again, somebody like American Business System business owners that are using the iClaim platform, again, average rejection rate is less than 2%.
So even if a doctor has that lowest number there, 6%, Eric, that's 3 times as many claims that are rejected in most systems. Most other systems, folks, are what they call server-based software. It is very old-fashioned compared to our cloud-based system. Everything in our system is done in real time. So when you submit a claim, it goes directly to the payer, the insurance company or Medicare, directly to them. And that's why our rejection rate is so low, because we scrub the claims clean before they go.
That's correct. Absolutely. All right. And then again, just more information from the American Academy of Professional Coders. It's not unusual. On average, 50% of denied claims are never resubmitted. So if you take 25 to 30% of the doctor's income, and then it costs $25 to rework those, now you can see why on average, half of those are really never even ever really resubmitted.
Well, and that's because they know that a lot of those are going to be rejected, probably even resubmitting them. And if it costs $25 a piece, they may not even be making much more than $25 off one of those claims.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Let me pull back up. And there's one last slide that we want to show before we really kind of get into the meat of our webinar. And that is denials are preventable. And that's where you can see that almost 50%, over 50% of claims can be avoidable and preventable. And that's what we're just saying. So if you took the 52% and then the other 34% that are avoidable, you've got more than just enough there just to be able to collect more money for the doctor. And so folks, you know, it's just a matter of things. And you're asking, well, what would cause a claim to deny? Well, it could just be that they've typed in the wrong last name, or they've got one digit out of place for an insurance, your insurance number. And if those are the cases, then that can skew in a claim never to go through. And that's some of the things, those two things that I just mentioned to you are some of the things that our EMRX platform and iClaim platform can actually find. It can actually put in the correct name of the patient along with the patient's correct insurance information, because we're checking that through the system directly to those insurance companies. And that's why we're able to help our brand new business owners here at American Business Systems win new business. So again, how to make that jump from employee to entrepreneur? Well, we've kind of given you a little bit of the issues of why doctors might need a medical biller and some of the things that kind of help you with that. But let's first of all talk about now, Patrick, really getting into this whole thing, how to do this. And the biggest thing is learning the objections of what you need to do to actually make that leap. And one of those objections is people would just say, Patrick, I just don't have enough money to start a business.
Yeah. And, you know, Eric, since we're going to go into each one of these in detail, why don't we just kind of pop through them there? That's obviously one that would keep a lot of people from starting a business and becoming an entrepreneur. They just don't have the money. We're going to show you how you could find that money. And then the second one is I don't have enough time. I work a 40-hour plus week now. Go ahead, Eric.
Yep. My friends and relatives say I shouldn't start my own business. I don't know anything about sales and marketing. I might like the healthcare industry, but I have no background or training in it. Number 6, I don't know anyone who could support me once I do get my business started. And then lastly, what if I get started and I don't like the business, Patrick? I mean, that's one of the big things of objections that keep people from making that leap from employee to entrepreneur, because becoming an entrepreneur has a slight part of risk to it. There's no doubt about it. But I think we're going to step you through these 7 objections today. And then hopefully that'll help you to make it a little bit easier to start making that jump there. And you'll even hear from some of our ABS business owners as we kind of get this kicked off. But let's first talk about that. I don't have enough money to start a business. Now, Patrick, you've been at this for, like I said, going on 28 plus years. you've heard this from a few folks already over the last 28 years.
Yes, and listen, in today's economy, I know that people don't have just money just to spend like freely. Sometimes they have to dig into some savings. They have to maybe borrow money from some of their relatives. Folks, there's all kinds of things you can do nowadays. But what you don't want to do is to go out and try to find a secured loan of some kind.
Right. Yeah, and you got the difference of what's called a unsecured loan versus a secured loan. Let me see if I can get these pulled up here. There we go. Unsecured loan versus a secured loan. So that's what we're going to talk about real quickly, especially whenever you say you don't have enough money. My son, who is a banker, when you're going into the bank, if you want to go get some money to start a business, a lot of people think, well, I'll just walk in, Patrick, and I'll just go get a small business loan. Well,
oh boy.
the difference between the difference between walking in and doing a personal loan versus a small business loan is about an inch amount of paper. Because if you walk in and say, I want to get a personal loan, then that could be up on your own signature. So that's an unsecured loan. But when you start talking about small business loans, they're going to want to know, how long have you been in that business? Give us a couple of years of your financials so that we'll loan you that money. So trying to get money to start a business, whether it's American Business Systems or any other type of business franchise, you're going to have to find creative ways to get your money outside of just trying to ask for a small business loan.
Yeah, and it's real simple. In your mind, look around your home and think, what is it that I might need to spend money on someday to improve my home? Maybe I add on another room or remodel the kitchen. All those things can cost thousands of dollars nowadays. And so all you do is you just walk in, and if they ask you what the reason is, you just tell them, I'm thinking about upgrading my home. Well, you are going to upgrade your home. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to start this business and make enough money to afford all of that without having to borrow any extra money. So it boils down to that, what it says on that brochure right there. It says, if it's important to you, it's reason enough for us. So
absolutely,
you are in control of your own life, your own money, your own income. That's reason enough, is to let them know that you're going to do something with it to improve your life.
Yeah, and if you've got good credit and you could split this between several cards, credit cards, a lot of people have started their business on and with credit cards. So those are some ways that you can do that with either no interest or low interest credit cards. There's also some what's called basically franchise fund. There's some opportunities like that. But I think, Patrick, the most that I've ever seen is that either people have some money that they've got liquid, some cash liquid set aside, and then put the rest on a credit card, either at a no or low interest rate credit card, for them to kind of get things kicked off there. So there are ways. I mean, many of us have maybe even started our business because of family, through even through equity in your home. So there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of get this business started. But before we move from here, talk about the investment and then what that kind of includes as well before we move on to the next section. Yeah,
so you'll see on our website, we make it right up front. You can go and find it right now. The investment in our business is $28,990. Let's call it $29,000. Now, that may sound a lot of money to a lot of you that are on here who've not looked into businesses, but if you've checked out any franchises at all out there, even something as small as a sandwich shop, you're looking at $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in franchise fees before you spend money on the building and the location, and then you've got employees and equipment and inventory and all sorts of costs that you don't realize. So you'll see that it may start out at, it's only $40,000, but by the time you get through to get that business started, you're going to need $100,000.
Exactly.
Eric, I had a friend who wanted to start his own franchise, a Subway franchise, and he bought one thinking he could make a six-figure income. Well, he only made about $35,000. That's all they average, on average, at least the first year. And so he said, well, I'll just go buy another one. He bought another one, still didn't make $100,000 the next year. So he bought a third one, and Eric, now he's up to 5. He's still trying to make that that income that he's always wanted. But can you
Sure.
imagine running
Yeah.
a sandwich shop and hiring teenagers?
Yeah. Who would want to do that nowadays? That's for sure.
Hey, by the
Uh,
way, let me say one other thing. We've had a
mhm.
lot of our licensees go into partnership. So
Correct.
think about this. Share this video when you get the link to it, or any of our webinars, with somebody that you might think might be the money investor. Maybe you're putting in the sweat equity. You're going to do all the work, but you got somebody else to put in the money. Or maybe you're splitting it half and half. You can do that any way you want to. And they can even set through the training with you when we talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, partnerships are a great way to look at that and split that cost. Objection number two, and this is going to be interesting because we're going to talk about some of the things that are underneath this. I don't have enough time, or I work a 40+ hour hours a week already. How can I even get started? Well, we're actually going to show a brief video here just shortly, but a lot of people are going to want to work from home because when you work you work your business, you're working at your pace, and you don't necessarily have any quotas that you're saying. About half of our licensees have started this part-time business working from home, and then getting this thing started. And again, we're gonna, Patrick, I think, when was it did you did this video with this gentleman that kind of got started
Just last Friday.
just last Friday? Yeah, there you go. Some franchises won't even let you start unless you can do it part-time. Now, this is one that you can start part-time. Patrick, hasn't there been some people that have started this even part-time? Maybe, they got really busy at their job, maybe towards the end of the year, and then picked it right back up and got going?
Yes, we have many licensees who will start this business. They'll go through the training. They still got their full-time job. They'll kind of set it on the shelf until they can get everything arranged and feel more comfortable with their revenue at their full-time job, saving some money, putting it aside, and so forth. And then they'll just pull it off the shelf and call us up and say, okay, I'm ready to get going now. So
Yeah,
you can do this any way you want to, but you
you
certainly don't
can.
have to do it full-time.
Yeah, don't have to do it full time. We're going to show you how to hire and train sales reps, or even with other business people out in the field that are building their business. It could be a someone that sells medical equipment to doctors, or pharmaceutical reps that are out there. You can learn how to partner with them, and that's part of what you're going to learn here at American Business Systems. But one thing you got to understand here: doctors don't see sales reps normally during business hours. If they do, it's because they've already had some pretty good relationships with them. That's why you want to maybe even partner with some of those folks. But most doctors, you'll see them before hours, or usually after hours, and even sometimes on the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had many licensees who have talked to doctors and they say, well, look, I'm just too busy to see you. I'm seeing patients, 8 to 5. So why don't you come on Saturday morning? I come in, check my emails, and get caught up on some paperwork, and there'll be nobody here but us.
Yeah. All right. Finally, we're going to get to this part where we're going to watch this video. So again, Patrick, you interviewed this business owner, you said last Friday. So let's listen to what you and he had to talk about.
Are you doing this full time?
No, no, sir. I'm not.
No. So you work a full-time job?
That's correct. I kept my full-time job, and then I do this right now. I'll say less than part-time even.
So how many hours now do you put in on this business?
So I'll say in a week about
Full-time?
5 to 10 hours.
Okay.
That I dedicate on this in a week. The reason for that is because I have employees now, right? They take care of all the operations, the marketing. I have in-house marketers. I have in-house operations guys that handle everything that I used to do by myself.
So where are you right now? Do you have several clients?
Yes, sir. I have at the moment 7 clients that I'm billing for.
No wonder you need some employees. How many people do you have working for you doing the billing?
have 4 billers, 1 coder, and then 3 marketing staff.
Okay, so Jude, explain to me, you still have another job? Why is that? Wouldn't this provide you a pretty good income if you have that many clients?
They do, but I keep I'm an electrical engineer, you already know that. I still keep that. The goal is to get to a certain financial point, and when I get to my number, then I'll be comfortable walking away from that career.
It's fantastic, Jude. I'm so proud of you. I just can't believe that you've been building this business slowly but surely behind the scenes. You've got this, I would say, getting close to where you could just walk away from your other job if you wanted to. Maybe you've got some great benefits and retirement and so forth, but there's.
Oh, yeah, about that. I passed that goal last year. So if the goal was to do this full time, yeah, I passed that goal last year, around September of last year. I beat that goal already, but that was never my goal to begin with. So that's why I keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, and hey, maybe you like what you're doing. Electrical engineering sounds interesting.
Yes, I do. I really do enjoy what I'm doing.
So you didn't have any background in the healthcare field?
Nope, none whatsoever. Zero.
What caused you to choose this business out of all the businesses you could have started?
Well, my criteria was something. Initially, I started, okay, let's see, something that I can use to supplement my income. Because I'm in the energy business, is sinusoidal, so it's not very stable. When they pay you well. When it's time to go, they let you go. So I went through a couple of layoffs, and I was affected by, at that time, I was affected by one of them. And so, like, all the anxiety, I decided, well, I needed something to help cope. Okay, I shouldn't be worried about income. So my criteria was, it has to be something that I can do at my own time. It has to be something that is flexible. I didn't need to be physically present at any particular location to do it. It has to be something that is scalable. And when I was doing that research, medical billing kept coming up over and over. Maybe because of the marketing that you did, that it kept coming back over and over. ABS kept popping up.
Okay, Patrick, I think you wanted to
Okay.
share a little bit about this this video clip of you and Jude.
Yeah, you know, Eric, we talk about this all the time here at the office. Because we're not a franchise, we don't have any regular reporting from our licensees, right? So there's people like this that you know, started with us several months back, and they've built their business. But unless they contact us specifically about the clients that they have, I mean, we get some reports from some of our partners, but not all of them. Anyway, the point is, we don't know who's building their business and who's not. I had no idea that Jude was, you know, had built his business to this point. Now he's going to say in another clip that we're going to see here in just a little while that he has, I think, 8 clients now, or 7 with. He's working on the 8th. Anyway, the point is that this guy has built this thing completely part-time. Now, the way he did that is the way we teach people. You hire people, contractors, who can do the billing for you. They're easy to find out there, folks. Believe me, we'll show you how to locate those people real easy. You pay them $12, $15 an hour. You still will make good money yourself. So Eric, he was saying that he didn't have this goal of quitting his full-time job, because he knew in his mind that he wanted to continue drawing probably the real nice salary he gets from being an electrical engineer and the money from the business till he gets to a certain point financially to where he feels like he's comfortable enough to, quit his full-time job and walk away. I think it's ingenious the way he's built this up. And you heard him say he has 4 medical billers, 1 coder.
Right.
He doesn't really have to have a coder. We have medical coders, of course, as you know, to help our business owners. But he's also got 3 marketing reps, he calls them. He means the sales reps that we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
So he's actually got people working for him, adding new clients, and he just, checks in and checks out at his regular job. And
Yeah.
what did he say in this clip? How many hours? I think he said he put in 5 to 10 hours a week. Maybe that's in the next clip. I got confused. But anyway, the point is, this guy has got a great business plan, and he could walk away anytime he wanted to, but
He could.
Yeah, he's just getting to a certain point. Yeah.
Simi on here that's on with us this afternoon says, congratulations, Jude. I am more encouraged. So, if you're encouraged by that, that's good. We want you to be encouraged because obviously, Jude is, he's an engineer, but, he hadn't had any background in medical billing, and it just shows you that you can do it. Just follow what we teach you, because objection number 3 tells you that you've got friends and relatives says that you shouldn't start your own business.
I love that picture. That looks like somebody's brother-in-law who's telling you, "Oh, you shouldn't start that business." Folks, you'll get a lot of negativity from relatives. Sometimes it's just because they're afraid. I mean, deep down inside, your brother-in-law doesn't want you to be as successful as you could be, because that makes him look like that much more of a slouch.
Right. Right. So, one of the things that you're going to need to do is, and one of the things that a lot of people will say, friends and relatives will say, you've never been in medical billing. You don't have any background. You don't have any clout. You don't have any credibility. And that's where we're going to talk to you right now and share with you. We're going to give you the credibility. You're going to be part of American Business Systems and 28 plus years of credibility. And those start with partnering with Dr. Vicki Rackner. Now, Dr. Rackner has written several books, one that she has called The Myth of the Rich Doctor. And so this is something that Patrick, that she actually gives out to doctors, because she's helping those doctors with their financial health. But talk with us about what Dr. Rackner does for us here at ABS.
Well, a few years back, I ran across Dr. Rackner out on the internet. She's very famous among doctor groups. She speaks at conferences all over the United States, and she's published about a half a dozen books, all aimed at doctors. This one, for example, the doctors love it when she offers this book to them or sells it to them, because it's about the myth of the rich doctor. And think about it, if you're a doctor and you went to medical school thinking that you're going to be wealthy, and it turned out that you weren't making near the money that you thought you were going to, which is the case nowadays, then this title of this book would strike you. Look, in the book, she says physicians in private practice walk away from an average of 30% of their income. Outsourcing your medical billing could bring claim rejection rates to as low as 2 to 5%. This may be the fastest and easiest way to increase your cash flow. So here's an authority, folks, a doctor who's been in practice. She was a general surgeon for many, many years, who's telling you through this book and doctors that they need to get with it and tune into that rejection rate that they've got on those claims.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the things that we're also going to help you with is doing what's called live demonstrations. And this is where it gets very good for you, because what we're able to do is to help you, quote unquote, sell the iClaim billing system to those doctors. So what you're going to be able to do is have American Business Systems 28 plus years experience talking directly to the doctor. So imagine that you're utilizing all the marketing strategies that you'll see up here just in this next subjection, plus have ABS behind you doing the demonstrations for you. And Patrick, I think what is still there is that for every 2 demos that we're doing, we're closing at least one. So that's 50% close rate if you think about it. So what you're going to want to do is get this information out as to many doctors, get them to a live demonstration with us, and then we're going to help you close it. That's what we did for Jude. That's how he got to where he got to 6 or 7 doctors, whatever he's doing, as quickly and as easily as he's been able to do it.
Yeah, because even though you're offering the service of doing the billing for the doctor, they want to know what kind of system you have. Is it up to date? Is it modern? Is it the latest technology? And folks, when we do these demos, you set these up online through our online demos setup form that we have. And when you set these up, doctors are blown away when they watch these demos. Eric, you've done some of these demos yourself, and you can verify that they are very impressed with it once they see our system, aren't they?
You bet. Objection number 4, I know nothing about sales and marketing. Patrick, before we get into this, share a little bit about how you even got started starting a medical billing franchise or business opportunity. You were doing a lot of sales and marketing in the very, very beginning.
Yeah, because my wife was doing billing for one medical provider. And then I thought, well, why don't I go out and find her some more? You know, it was making pretty good money, that one. And so, but Eric, I spent literally 3 years trying to figure out, trying to crack the nut as to how to approach doctors. How do I get in front of doctors? How do I convince them that I can take over their billing when really we didn't have that much experience? Now, it's different nowadays because our business owners can actually tell a doctor, look, I'm part of the nation's largest network of independent medical billing companies. We do thousands of claims every day, literally for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast. And we collect millions of dollars that they wouldn't have collected otherwise. Now, see how that positions you as being much larger than somebody who's just working out of their spare bedroom.
Yes.
And then, of course, I had to develop some marketing materials. So we've spent over $100,000 developing some of our nice full color flyers that you're seeing here on the screen now. These are about each one of those ancillary services that we have, and they all look together as if it's from one company. So you're not just handing out different brochures or trifolds or business cards from different companies. This is all as if it's your company and you're providing all these services. Now, we actually have the professionals behind the scenes that provide these services, and you just get your check each month.
Absolutely. And then you've got Patrick, before we move on to this, someone asked just a moment ago, does it include dental billing? And I typed the answer into yes, it does. And so some of the brochures that Patrick is showing, for every service solution that we have, there's a brochure for that. So that whenever you're out there marketing to doctors and or dentists, if you're going to be doing billing for dentists, all of that, you've got all of that there. But plus, we've got all the information for you to kind of walk through a doctor, whether it's, you got them there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But really, Patrick, I want to kind of talk about your book that you did write. When I mentioned this earlier about the new thriving medical practice and how this is actually so important in someone's marketing.
Yes. Now, we haven't read this subtitle, so let me read the subtitle of this book. The New Thriving Medical Practice: How to Get Off the Hamster Wheel, Work Smarter. Remember, this is for a doctor. You're handing this to a doctor, or we'll show you how to even mail it to them. Work smarter, not harder, generate more revenue, and enjoy greater career satisfaction in the post-pandemic world. Now, folks, that's as up-to-date and relevant as it can get. And when you hand this to a doctor, they want to read this book. Then, when they realize that you've actually written the foreword to the book, you see that name there, Susan Smith. That's one of our licensees. Well, we made that up, I think. But you'll be able to put your certification after that, CMRM, Certified Medical Revenue Manager, once you've gone through our training. And your name and contact information is right there in the book, right at the end of the foreword. Now, we've already got the foreword written, but you can write your own if you want to with our help. And as you can see, your contact information will be right there. So, Eric, this is about the best marketing tool in the world. It's the most expensive business card you could hand out, but you don't just hand it out. You actually give it to a doctor that you've made contact with. We'll show you exactly how to put this in the hands of the doctor, get it past the gatekeeper and on the desk of the doctor. And there it is. There's your contact information right inside the book. They love this. They
Yes,
absolutely love this book.
yeah, absolutely. And we just shared, I think it was last week, where during the pandemic, nobody could really get out and go market. And one of our licensees was able to get these books out, mailed them out. We showed you how to mail them to properly get to the doctor, and got out 3 of them and ended up getting 3 new doctors out of it.
Yes, and of course, when we teach you how to mark this book up, we show you how to highlight certain passages and put little sticky flags on the book. When you hand that to a doctor like that, they just go, "What the heck? What is this?" So they've never seen that before. And when they start flipping to those little flags, they realize that they have a problem that they didn't realize they had. It just zeroes them in on the problems and our solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the greeting cards, the postcards that go out. Now, these are not what you would think of as e-cards. These are actually postcards with campaigns. And somebody asked about dental billing. There's the dental billing flyer marketing campaign right there in the middle. Patrick, yeah, you've got it all, we got it all figured out for them.
Yeah, we develop these campaigns, and these cards go out automatically once you put them into a doctor's in the database for that doctor. He'll get one card, and then 30 days later they get the second card. 30 days later the third card, et cetera, et cetera. We've got some campaigns that are up to 9 different cards. And folks, we've got licensees who will tell you with their own lips that this got them a doctor that they had forgotten all about. They contacted the doctor in January, and it wasn't until September, October before the doctor called and said, "Hey, I think we need your help."
Yeah.
This is because keeping your name at the top of the doctor's mind or the office manager's mind makes them think of you when it does come time for them to outsource their billing.
You bet. Yep. And here's how that all of that works. You can go in there and customize it, put your logo there. You can even add your signature to it. So there's a lot there that you can do. And Patrick, the training that folks get are in these 2 modules here, or not 2, these 2 columns here of 10 modules.
Yeah, now the reason we have that highlighted there is because remember, this objection is, I know nothing about sales and marketing. Well, folks, as you can see, a big part of our training, a huge part of it is on the marketing and how we teach you to do that specifically. You're getting some insight right here as to some of the things that we teach. Not everything, because some of it is so proprietary. We actually have it on our licensee support site, which is a private website for our business owners. But the point is that several of those modules, several of those hours are invested in teaching you exactly how to go out and get clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we've already mentioned this earlier, but you can use sales reps, and those sales reps could be pharmaceutical reps, durable medical equipment reps, just anybody that has had some type of relationship with the doctors. They're going to teach you that during that training. Now, I think you got one more video clip that we want to show of Jude, and then we'll play that. And then we've got it looks like about 12 more minutes, Patrick, before the top of the hour.
Yeah, now, Eric, when you start playing that, I think if you move your mouse back over it somewhere, maybe even have to stop it, you'll see the little player scrubber thing down at the bottom and see how long it is and how close it is to being over. Well, you've just done terrific. Give me a feel for how you found your very first client.
So I went up to DC to go take care of some family issues over there, and I met with one of my sisters-in-law. And she called one of our friends who owned a clinic, a family practice over there. She called her, told her about me, and I can help her with her billing because she was struggling with it. So she gave me an appointment because she was heading to work. So she gave me an appointment to call her back about 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'd done with everything that I had to do in DC, so I was leaving. So 6 p.m., I was at the airport, I called her and we were talking. We spoke for maybe like 30 minutes, told her about my background, told her what I'm doing, why I selected medical billing, everything. She was pretty impressed with what she heard. And then she asked me when I get back to Houston, I should give her a call the following morning so we can set up a demo for iClaim and EMRX. So I did that. It went well, followed up with her. And when I sent her the first service agreement, after I made the adjustment that she wanted, about 5 minutes later on, the first check hit my bank account. So that was my beginning.
So you got some sort of setup fee? Is that what that first check was?
Oh yes, I got a setup fee. Sure.
Well, that's great. Well, so that was just basically warm market is what that was.
Yes. So that was the fifth one. The sixth was a referral from my second client, the second account.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The seventh is a referral from my first client. And the soon to be eighth is also a referral from my first client.
Well, Jude, it doesn't sound like you did hardly any marketing except for that first client.
Yes. Yes.
So, Jude, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to let you go because I know you've got another meeting coming up, but let me just ask you this. Can you kind of summarize what's the very best thing that you could tell people who watch this? What's the best thing about owning your own business?
Well, to me, at the end of the day, it was to curb that anxiety, right? So last year, all that anxiety went away. So I'm not worried about like where my next paycheck is going to come from anymore. I think I found a fix for that issue. So the best thing is that, to me, where you're not worried about where money is going to come from, where money is always on your mind. You're thinking about it all the time, almost to.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jude. There you go, Eric. The best thing about owning your own business, you don't have to worry about your income. Once you get this business going, see, you've got an income that's just going to continue on as long as you're doing the billing for that doctor. And Eric, this was just a shortened version, of course, of the entire interview. It's out there on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, which we'll tell people about here in just a moment. But the point is, all 8 of those clients came from referrals.
Absolutely.
That's all he did. The very first one was a warm market referral. And then from that, he got another referral and another and another and another. That's how this business grows.
It is. It's exactly how it grows. Patrick, not to cut you off shortly, but we've got just a little bit less than 7 minutes here. And we've got a couple more things that we want to get to. Objection number 5 is that you like the industry, but don't have any training or background in it. But Patrick, I mean, we've already talked about the simplicity of getting the training. We used to do it in a big live classroom for 5 days, but now, even before COVID even happened, we were doing online training and making it even more personal.
Yeah, we got it down to 10 modules of about 90 minutes apiece. And so this is what we call our initial training, because we can get people started in this business and getting their first client with just the training you see here. You get to set that up with your a trainer online, one-on-one with them. And once you've got that all set up and go ahead, you can get through that in, gosh, we've had people get through it in 3 weeks.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Objection number 6, I don't know anyone that could advise me or support me once I do get the business started. Now, Patrick, I know a lot of people want to know about support and how that is involved with American Business Systems, but they don't ever have to pay another dime for support once they become part of ABS.
No, it's lifetime support. And the reason we can do that, Eric, is because, of course, we make a few pennies on all the transactions, on all the ancillary services that we offer as well. So we've got ongoing revenue as a company without having to charge anything to our existing business owners. There's no upgrade fees, no new code fees, no software updates. All of that is included in that first initial fee of the $29,000. We've got support people from coast to coast, over 100 people, and with our technology partners that can help our licensees. And we've got this 24/7 website that's just for our business owners as well. You can log in anytime and get help from us as a company right there 24/7. Then if they want to, they can join our Facebook group, which, as you can see, I think I just took that snapshot just today. That's 210 members in there, Eric, that are all in there sharing their success stories and their tips and tricks and asking questions. And it's just a wonderful way. It's a very private group that you have to be invited to, of course, once you become one of our licensees. But folks, there's your 24/7 support from all the other business owners out there that are in the United States. Then we have monthly roundtables where we get online, as you can see here, and talk with other licensees and some of our support people and trainers. That's an open forum, basically. We can ask all the questions you want. And you're also a member of MERMA, the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And so you can go to MERMA.org if you'd like to know more about that. We have ongoing training webinars all the time, Eric, usually maybe a couple of months, that are just brand new topics that we cover. You're invited to all of those, of course. And so, yeah, there's a lot more going on in support than just a phone call here and there.
Absolutely. And then the last objection, making that jump from employee to entrepreneur, is, what if I get started and I don't like the business? I mean, most folks say, so too bad, so sad,
Yeah, all sales final. Folks, this is very important. Now, listen, don't purchase a business or a franchise unless they will tell you that once you've gone through their training, you have 30 days in which to get 100% of your money back. We're the only company, I can tell you to go tell them that, because nobody does that but us. We're the only company that does that. Now, why can we do that, folks? Because we've been doing this for 28 years. We know what we have. We know how good it is. And very few people over the years have asked for any kind of refund, but when they do, we're willing to give that to them and bless them and let them go do whatever it is that will be, successful for them.
There you go. Patrick, it seems like this hour went by in 30 minutes. It was just, we had this one just packed full of information. So folks, go ahead.
I'm going to go through this in 3 minutes. Ready?
Okay, here we go.
All right, here's the steps you need to take. Number one, ask for our research guide. This is a 65-page PDF that you can download directly to your computer, stuff that's not anywhere on our website. So you have to ask for that. You ask your ABS rep. Here's the phone number and the email address where you can do that. Then number two, browse our YouTube channel. I mentioned that a couple of times. Here it is right here. It's youtube.com/whyabs. And you can see that interview with the entire interview with Jude there on that as well. I missed that last one. Oh, is that a picture of the? Yeah, okay. Sorry, here it is. ABS licensees. We have a list of licensees, our business owners, that are willing to talk to you. Yes, we've got their phone numbers. We'll give you their phone numbers and email addresses, and you can reach out to them directly and ask them all the questions you want. These are people who've actually gone through our training and been there and done that. Ask for the live demo from your ABS rep. If you haven't seen that already, you need to see that for yourself.
Absolutely. You got to see that. That's where I like to kick in, because if you miss out on the demo, you're cheating yourself. Then finally, review the purchase agreement and the funding instructions. You can get those from your ABS rep as well. Of course, it's just a 4-page document, very unlegalese in there. And last but not least, send in your agreement and your funding and schedule your training. You'll be able to do that, like I said earlier, directly with your trainer. Did we do it? You did it. You did it. You did it within 3 minutes. I'm surprised. That was awesome. You did it. It's like you've done this before.
Yeah.
Well, folks, we don't want to keep you over an hour. I mean, like I said, we started right up at the top of the hour, and literally we went through a lot of information. And this will be up on the internet, on YouTube here in probably by tomorrow. So please go check out the webinar so you can listen to it again. Fadia is asking, am I able to see a iClaim demo before? Yes, go ahead and get with the person that invited you to the webinar and they'll do a demonstration for you. Yes, you need to schedule that.
Yeah, and if you're not sure who that is, that's why we're giving you our phone number and email address. Just contact us and say, hey, who's my rep? And I want to see the demo, and we'll get them in contact with you. All right. And hey, don't forget to go out to our website there at the bottom, avsystems.com. And well, wait till tomorrow. You can click on tomorrow's link up there at the top and register for next week's webinar, because
There
we
you
do
go.
every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully next week you'll have the internet, the intranet.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad.
No, it wasn't. All right, folks, y'all have a great evening. We will see you next Wednesday. Thanks so much, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks for putting it together, Eric.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.